if you take someone who's good at a monolift and you put them on a combo rack and tell them to walk the weight out, I bet they can walk that weight out pretty damn good, because they're going to be braced, their shoulders are going to be down, their feet are going to be set, they're going to get a big breath, they're going to stand up with it, they're going to let it settle, and they're going to be good. Then at that point, it's just taking a couple steps back. Whereas a lot of these newer lifters today, you look at them in a combo rack, a lot of their walkouts are trash. Their unracks, like, not good. And then, or you see them like kind of shrug it off the rack, they're going, their upper back's rounded, their head's way forward, and then they try to correct that prior to getting the squat command.
Yeah. 7 steps later.
7 steps later. Yeah, good luck doing that with 100% on your back.
Yeah.
So, and then it's like, if you want to expose them, throw them in a monolift and see them try to stand up, get that monolift arm out of there and squat. See if they can do that. They will have a hard time doing that. I bet the majority of these, these USAPL powerlifting American, pretty much anything with a combo rack, you put them in a mono, it would expose them quite a bit, I'm sure.
Well, with the way all the competition racks are now, if they have to walk out, they're nothing like what they used to be. Like when I first started competing, it was like a tire that actually held, the post that you squatted. So you had to take a couple steps just to clear the fucking tire, because if you put your feet out, where now you barely have to do a walkout at all. Actually, you could just set one foot.
Pretty much.
Stand up and bring the other foot back.
As long as it clears the little bench.
Yeah, because it will clear that area, because it's not, but yet they'll still take, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they're 3 foot away from the fucking rack. And it's like, it makes it's a lot of wasted energy. And just on that.
Yeah.
And that I see a lot, but just even on the bench, just letting the bar settle before they go down, it's where I'm biased, but everybody should do gear once. Right? It's just to kind of learn how to let all that shit settle.
Yeah.
So they learn how to do that, because on the bench, you got to let your shoulders, they have to depress the weight. The weight, that's what the weight's there for, but they'll be like this, and they just held it, but we get right into that position. So what are the same things that you see we'll stay on the bench? What are some things that you see there?
Things that bother me on the bench.
Well, things that you see with the lifters that you have to.
Oh, lining up too far away, or like eye level, to where they're kind of like reaching back, rack heights that aren't conducive to them. I'm trying to think like technique wise, leg drive, ass coming up. The butt coming up is a pretty common one. From there, oh God, what's his name? Big benches. He always has a good. Oh, I forget his name. I apologize. But he always has some really good bench videos on, basically just widen your feet out. You widen your feet out, your hips aren't going to physically be able to come off the bench. So like anytime I've seen that with my lifters, it's pretty much like, all right, widen up, root your feet, drive the knees out. You're going to feel a whole bunch of tension going right up your quad into your hips, flex the glutes, push back, push into the front of your shoes, back into your traps. Your hips should stay in line. If you can physically lift your ass off the bench, then it's probably not the right setup for you. It's just go a little bit wider. And that kind of fixes the problem. So it's all about the setup, really. Yeah.
So what do you see with the deadlift?
Slack. Yeah. Just not getting the slack out of the bar, yanking the bar. If you looked at any of my deadlift videos, bad. Like it's definitely like do as I say, not as I do. Throughout like up until 2017, I did end up correcting that slack pull issue, but just not getting the slack out of the bar, rushing it. See the elbows kind of bending and just yanking the bar. That's a big one. So just kind of taking your time on the approach on the deadlift, making sure the weight is mid-foot prior to initiating the pull.
Now, what are the physical weak points that you'll see with the lifters that you've worked with?
Like trying to group them all into one.
Well, just give me an example of one. So said they're falling forward, on the squat after the bottom. Yeah.
So, that tells me that actually, one of the girls who's competing at the Powerlifting American meet next weekend, her back is super strong. So it's similar to the issue that like I had where her hips would shoot back. Her back just takes the entire load, and she's strong enough to get through it, because that's basically what's happening. So because of, it's a weakness in the quad. So because of, not weakness, but not as strong as her back. So what happens is your body is going to naturally revert to what allows you to get the weight up any way possible. So because her back's so strong, the hips are shooting back, hamstrings and her erectors are basically taking over to get that weight up. So what we've been doing is a lot of like heel elevated kind of stuff, just trying to hammer those quads. And then we've also been doing concentric tempo, which I think is underutilized. So instead of just focusing on the eccentric, we're pausing her at the bottom of a squat and then giving her like 3 seconds on the way up. So that's allowing her to consciously push through the quads. I want the hips and the shoulders to be rising at the same time. And since doing those, like, I mean, granted, her squat's not perfect yet, but watching her do those concentric tempos, they look perfect. So now, I mean, going to the off season, I'm just going to continue with that for sure. So I think like concentric tempos, I know a lot of people don't really do those. I don't know why. Like I've kind of just somewhat recently started implementing those, but I love it. I think that really it can solve a lot of problems, just getting them to feel the movement pattern that you want on the concentric.
Well, you made a good point there just with that one example that, you know, at a certain point through the meet prep, you can work on these things, but at a certain point you got to dance with what you got. Yeah. And then just ride it out. But if you can remember, you know, what that is, and that gets implemented immediately in the off season.
And then cueing too.
Down in the cueing.
Yeah. I mean, cueing is something that she can do at the meet, just leading the shoulders, back of the head to the bar out of the hole. I mean, that's something, she's probably going to revert to lifting with her back to an extent, but as long as she's consciously making that effort to drive the head back and really throw the shoulders back into the bar, that can help.
So how do you work with lifters that have a hard time getting the lat engagement on the bench?
So I actually like just kind of doing lat work for that, you know, chest supported rows, stuff like that, just full protraction, full retraction, just getting the lats stronger. Nothing like super special, keeping it simple but effective. Just working on that retraction, scapular depression. And then just kind of that break the bar cue, staying tucked here, because anytime you see like this where the elbows shoot out, you're opening up, that tells me the lats are engaged there. So just kind of cueing and then just trying to really just work on getting the lats stronger.
What's another one of the weak points with one of your lifters that you've been working on as their that's an example, kind of like what you just gave, but with somebody else that's kind of in the same situation where you're working on it, but now it's just kind of like, just ride what you got, work the cues. But in the off season, we have to double down on X. Yeah.
So like sinking on bench, one of the girls, she'll get to the bottom and it's just getting loose. Like, so we've done, honestly, I've tried kind of a lot to fix this. But she'll get to the bottom and then it's kind of just like, just a little bit of cave, a little bit of looseness to where I'll play it back. I'll play it in slow-mo and you'll see just a little wavering of the bar, just kind of losing tightness at the bottom. We've done like Spoto press for that. Really working on the leg drive too, because that's a big component. And that's one of the things where once I see her legs kind of like come forward a little bit, just release slightly, everything else releases after that. So trying to just get her to maintain that leg drive, squeeze the glutes, drive through the heels, and use your heels and use your legs to elevate that chest up and maintain that. That's what's going to kind of fix that. But I mean, that's a big one where it's just like cue it. I've given her like long pause benches, which can help with that too. Long pause Spoto, which can help as long as it still comes down to execution on that, right? But those are kind of some of the ways that I've addressed that.
Have you tried low pin presses?
No.
You can set the bar right at a position to where if she keeps her rib cage expanded, it will touch her chest. But if she lets the rib cage drop, the bar is going to hit the pins.
I like that.
You see what I'm saying?
I like that.
It gets tricky right? Because sometimes you may not have enough room.
Yeah.
You might have to, put a swimming noodle over the pit, but it's usually close enough.
I like that.
Right. So they have that reinforcement. They hear that ding. Well, you fucked up. If you don't, then it kind of puts it in there.
Yeah.
So and sometimes with some of the competition benches that have, like the ones we have out here that have the spot arms, sometimes you can get close with the spot arms too.
Yeah.
To be able
So what kind of rep range would you go with that?
Well, if it's a technical thing like this, 10s. I mean, it's just the fucking bar.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's just that reinforcement. So there's a lot of reps with that. Anything that I'll use a cue, like keep your rib cage up, and stuff like that. Anything to be able to get it. But the higher end of that would be to do it with a floor press, because now they can't use their fucking legs to do it. They have to just completely rely on the rib cage.
That makes sense.
And pulling that all up.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's a little bit, too far out, for that. And, I got the idea just because of the dead press to be able to bring up the bottom of the lift. And, I'd see some lifters like, why is it really a dead press on that rep, but on this one, it's kind of not, because it hit, well, they got tired, as the reps went on, the rib cage dropped. So then it became kind of like a pin press for that. So it's just one kind of example with that, but you run into a lot of nuance and a lot of issues when it's an online, and you're trying to do this feedback with video. Yeah. Instead of where to meet, you could probably fix that.
Definitely.
Real quick.
Yeah. And that's one of the things, like I've gotten pretty good with the video review for sure. But if there's ever an issue that tends to kind of linger or hang around longer than I would like, then I just invite them to the gym.
Yeah.
And that's great. And having the people at least within, arm's distance of being able to travel in to Legends, that's very beneficial. Some are a little bit too far, but we do the best we can with that.
Another thing I found with some lifters is if they're having issues like that, I'll have them send me some of their warm-up sets, right? Because if you look at the total volume that's done in a day, the work sets make up 5, maybe 6 reps. Yeah. But maybe 50 were completed in that entire day. Yeah. And if all the 80% of all the technique could have been shit. You know what I'm saying? So they're just reinforcing shitty reps. Yeah. Where, as you were talking about earlier, even with your own training early on, you might have had 3 reps one day where it should have been 4, but you knew just kind of back it down. Where part of what you're doing when you're doing that is if it's a set of 4 and the first 2 are solid, but the third and the fourth are going to be trash, 50% of that set, you reinforced bad technique. Exactly. Right. But if you stop it at 2, 100% of that training session was good technique. Yeah. And that's where RPE comes into play. Yeah. Yes. So. But nobody looks at all the reps that were done prior. Like you should be able, you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like you should be able to root a fucking squat with the bar. Right? You should. And actually, a lot of people are just kind of be lazy with it. Yeah. But see, that's the hardest to root with because you don't have the weight pushing you down. Right? So, it grounds you a little bit. Yeah. So when I'll teach people and walk them through their squat out here, I'll start with the bar. And I start from feet up. Every coach does some people. No, I agree with that. Yeah. Optimally, you would probably start with the brace first because that could fix the feet and everything else. But if you start with the feet up and it's just the bar, they don't know what the fuck they're doing with their feet. Right? They have 315 on. It's, kind of cheap in a way, but they have no idea what to really go on with all that because it's a walkout the same way. It's crazy how you'll watch somebody that has to walk out, how they'll walk out the bar in 135 compared to their work sets. It should just be consistent. And it seems like common sense, but it's missed by so many people. Yeah. And I see that at the gym all the time and I cringe, but I also don't want to be that guy that's going up and just, correcting everybody. Well, that's a whole other question right there. I mean, as a gym owner, you see shit. How do you manage that? Because obviously, if somebody's doing something that they're going to get hurt, you're going to say something because you don't have to.
Yeah.
But outside of all that, there's actually, let's not do this as a gym owner because that's different. Let's do it as a member of your gym. Because there's gym etiquette.
I feel like that's almost easier.
You think? I don't know though, man, because there's certain gym etiquette where you don't want to be the guy, that's going around giving people all these fucking
and
cues.
at least if you're a coach, you can kind of speak to that.
Yeah.
But the other part of it is like at my gym, like I'm not the one who coaches everybody. Like there's plenty of lifters who have other coaches aside from me. So then it's like, all right, well, am I going to correct this person? But if they got another coach and then I'm stepping on their toes and then I look not only like a dick coach, but also a dick gym owner, like I don't want to be that guy. But if you're a member of the gym and you see something, it depends the extent of it. And that's kind of what I think. Like if it's someone's going to get hurt, you are obligated to step in and fix that. If it's something like a helpful cue, say it, man. Help them out. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah. It's for their benefit. And as long as you kind of approach it the right way and you're not a dick about it, I love that stuff. Like if someone can tell me something and it can benefit me, I'm all for it. I don't care.
So who would make up the majority of your members?
Honestly, not even powerlifters. And that's a common misconception. People think like 24/7 gym. It's like, we're the strongest gym in the 585. And I take great pride in that. We are for sure. But the majority of our members are not competitive powerlifters. We got a really good group. We cater to powerlifters as well as like bodybuilders, strength athletes, youth athletes, guys who pretty much people who want to actually make progress. So that goes far and beyond just people who are stepping on a platform or a stage. People who take it seriously. And then people also like the 24/7 access. So plenty of people who come at like 2 a.m. I can't do it. I can never do that. I tried. When I was on night shift, I tried. I can't do it. But yeah, it's a really good community of people. So the majority, I would say, are just those who like genuinely want to get better, who want more out of a gym than just your local eSporta or Planet Fitness or Gold's Gym, whatever. Yeah.
What would be some of the things that they would like you to have in the gym that you don't currently have?
A sauna. Yeah, I've had a request for a sauna, but we are pretty well equipped as far as equipment goes. We just got a GHR. That was one that's been on our bucket list for a while. So that was a nice plus. But we got a lot of really good leg equipment: reverse hyper, belt squat, pendulum squat, hack squat. Leg press, obviously, seated leg curl, leg extension, like all,
What gets used the most?
Like machine wise?
I'm just curious at this point.
I know, I'm trying to think. Probably like the leg press, We got normal people who go to the gym. So that's probably the one that gets used the most. We got a good cable machine, and a nice 8-stack. People obviously love the cables, but then the combo racks. We got 3 combo racks, and those get used and abused. Yeah, everybody loves those. Even the non-power lifters, And for whatever reason, they like squatting out of the combo rack. We got 3 power racks, and we got a monolift. And like, I get it. You train how you compete. But it's like you're coming in at like 5 p.m. on a Monday when the gym's busy as hell, and you're gonna take out the comp bench to squat out of the combo when there are open power racks. It's like,
will they squat together, or will they squat?
No, just one person, Dave. So I actually just put a sign on the wall. I'm like, if it's busy, just please be considerate of other members. If you're going to squat out of a combo, please consider, I'm not saying you have to, but please consider squatting out of a power rack so the bench can be utilized.